Maple leaves ain't fall and die. I guarantee a death in life. Love is guaranteed strife. Whether or not you were my wife. If you give up every time, you choose to live another life. Replace the old up with the new. Every time you are confused, you're all confused, you're all confused.
What's cracking, celiacs? It's Kevin here with the G-Free Show, and today I wanted to taste test the Daura gluten-free beer made by the Estrella Damm brewery out of Barcelona, Spain. So the one thing that really gets me, and I'm not going to be drinking this whole beer because, I mean, it says it's guaranteed for under 6 parts per million of gluten, which in the U.S., you know, according to FDA, that would be considered gluten-free. Other countries, maybe not so much, because there's a lot of other countries that say, you know, if it's under 5 parts per million, it's gluten-free. I know that's real close and everything like that, but I've heard from a couple viewers that they've, you know, kind of had a reaction from it anyway. And I mean, I get, you know, symptoms off of not so, you know, like very minuscule amounts of gluten, so I really don't like to take my chances. Especially considering my girlfriend's coming over tonight, and I actually just got back from the airport. I went and picked up my brother, so yeah, I don't know. It's just really not the night to have any sort of reaction if I am going to have one. So just going to try out just a tiny bit, hope for the best. But yeah, so it's supposed to be just, you know, kind of a mainstream Pilsner lager, and yeah, I don't know. Let's just give it a shot, huh? Okay, so it's very full flavored. That's the one thing that I noticed right away. I just wanted to quick mention that this is made from, you know, malted barley. So somehow they're supposed to have a process which they do not clearly explain on their website whatsoever on how they actually bring it down to, you know, the low amount of gluten that they do have in it. So I'm not quite sure, but you can definitely tell it's, you know, a full flavored beer. It actually, I don't know. I mean, I'm from Northwest Wisconsin, so this is the birthplace of Leinenkugels, and it does kind of remind me of that. I had Leinenkugels when I was younger, and it definitely kind of reminds me of that. That's the one thing that my dad always drank, and I don't know. It's interesting. It's full flavor, not really the taste that I'm looking for, but still at the same time, I mean, it's, you know, it tastes like real beer, and that's one thing that I really miss. So I don't know. I got to take another swig of it, I guess. Yeah, it tastes way too much like real beer to actually not make me nervous. Yeah, it's just way too full flavored, like the aftertaste, everything. It's still so present. The one thing that I really like about Bard's, I think it was the Bard's Tail Beer or Dragon Tail Beer. I can't remember what it's called. I have no idea. But the one thing about Bard's is that they malt sorghum, so it has that full flavor. It's just not the same kind of grains, you know, as, you know, the gluten-containing grains. So that's one thing that I really like about it is, even though that's not necessarily the taste that I'm looking for either, it still, you know, is gluten-free and it has a full beer flavor to it. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to have any more of that. Just not looking forward to any sort of reaction. I don't know. I could just be extremely paranoid from a lot of episodes that you guys may have seen before, because there's been 106 previous to this episode. There's been so many examples where I've just, you know, frustrated, or, you know, just kind of pouring out my frustrations and my paranoia and certain things, like even licking stamps and, you know, in envelopes, just different things like that. So I mean, yeah, I just don't take my chances. That's for sure. But it is a great tasting beer. If, you know, if you're gluten intolerant, or, you know, maybe, I don't like to ever recommend anything with any sort of gluten to any celiac just because of the intestinal damage that occurs from it. But I mean, if you're gluten intolerant and you really, you know, just not quite as sensitive as most, you know, then this would be a good option, I'm sure. But as far as with some of the reactions that I have, I just can't really back it. Not until I learn more about the process and how low the gluten count actually does get. Yeah, I guess, you know, that's really all I have to say about it. You know, so you know, as much as I do like the idea of having another gluten-free beer in the mix, just no, that doesn't really suit me. I'd rather go, you know, for a hard cider, if anything, you know, like the woodchuck. I've said on many episodes before as well, you know, how much I do love woodchuck, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not really for me as far as this goes. So, yeah, really, that's everything for today. But over the next few episodes, well, the next episode, I'm sure that I'll be getting out since I have family in town now, will just be the Follow Friday episode. And then after that, I probably will still be talking a little bit about Media Monday, Taste Test Tuesday, over the next couple weeks. But I may also be doing a couple more episodes talking all about the Defeat Wheat book by Brian Gansman. Since I started reading that book, I've just been, like I said yesterday, just hooked on it, and there's just wealth of knowledge, just with the industry. That's what's interested me most, not just problems with gluten or, different information about it, which is all great. I mean, I love it, and that's what I talk about so much, but I'm kind of a business head, and I like to hear about, what goes behind the scenes too, and that's one thing that I really found most interesting so far. So, yeah, that's really everything for tonight. So you guys have a good one, and I will see you on Friday.